The purpose of this video is to give you guys a little bit of a tour of some of the tips and tricks on Google Classroom and to introduce you to your digital notebook since we will be using it every day from now on. First, whenever you are in Google Classroom and first log in, this is kind of what you're going to see, only you should have 7 classes instead of the 3 that's on this fake students account. Now, I'm assuming that you know the basics, so I'm not going to go through all of that stuff. Instead, I just want to show you some of the things that you may not already know. For example, if your classes are out of order, you can drag them around. So like here, I'm using my second hour nature writing as an example. Why not move that to second hour, assuming that algebra was first hour? If you get all your classes in order, it's a lot easier to stay organized. Now, before we get into an individual class, there are a couple things up here that you may not have seen before. The first is your to-do list. Your to-do list lists out all of your work for all of your classes, and you can toggle it through by date. So here, these are all the assignments that this student has that have no particular due date. There are 3 of them, and I can go ahead and get rid of that if I don't want to. There is a section for things that are happening this week, but since I'm recording this video on a Friday after you guys have already left, there's nothing there. But next week, if you look, there are 4 things that are already posted, and I can look and see what those are as well. And then there are things that are posted for even later. So if a long-term assignment gets posted, you can look at it that way. Up here at the top, there is a toggle for missing assignments, which, yay, after day 1 of school, there are no missing assignments. But if you've ever had that question, well, what am I missing? And your teacher has said, well, look at Google Classroom. This is what we meant. And then finally, if you're ever feeling the need to actually feel accomplished, you can click on the done, and then everything that has been completed and turned in, for example, here, this was turned in due this week, you can see everything, and you can see by like when you did it. Did you do it early? Was it this week? Was it last week? Was it earlier? You have plenty of different things. Now, to go off of this screen, you'll go over to these 3 bars and go ahead and go back, at least right now, for classes. The other button that is up here is your calendar button. If you click that, it opens up your calendar for what is happening in all of your classes. So if anything is posted ahead of time, you can see this was a Thursday assignment. There was nothing going on today. Click over here for next week. Oh, here are these 2 assignments right here and when they are due. You can also choose to just do a specific class if you are worried about looking at all of them all at one time. They are all there for you. Now, to go back, let's go ahead and let's go back to classes. That's fine. Because now I can show you some of the things that work with an individual class. And we're going to use mine as an example. I don't want to mess with Mrs. Grigg's stuff. First, this button down here opens up all of your work for that particular class. So when you click it, you can see all of the assignments. And over here on the side, and you can even see like how many attachments are in each one if there are attachments. Over here is probably where you might be interested. Here you can have work that has been assigned to you, but you have not actually done. This is work that has been returned to you, meaning it has been graded, and now you can look at that grade and it's like it's been handed back to you in person. And then finally, you have another option for the missing. To get off of this screen, and if you want to go back to just that class, you can just come up here and click that. You do not have to go back any further. The other thing that was on that for you is the open up the folder. And what that does is it opens up a new tab and it has your Google Classroom folder in your Google Drive. And inside of there will be all of your assignments in case like you can't quite figure out how to get to them in Google Classroom. They are all saved in your drive. It will not be organized very well at all. In fact, most of the time they're organized by your name followed by the name of the assignment. So it might be semi alphabetical order, but I actually find it confusing to go in there and do that, so I've never really played with it much. So let's just go back to the classes. So to get into the class, I would highly recommend not clicking individual assignments as they are listed out here. Those individual assignments are great whenever you are just trying to have a glance to see what you need to do, but you can miss a lot of things, especially if there's a long-term assignment. Instead, I would recommend just clicking on the class itself. When it comes up, you see the stream. And this stream, some teachers will have it where all of your different assignments will show up here and you can kind of click those. I have it set up so that all that will be on there are my announcements. And probably whenever you're watching this video, there might be one or two other announcements thrown in there. But as I'm recording this on a Friday afternoon, you do not see any. Some features that you may not know about is the upcoming. These tell you some things that are coming up relatively soon, within about a week. If it's something that is really far out there, it will not show up on here. But you can click View All, and that takes you back to that assignments page that we looked at before. What's this button do? Oh, that's dumb. You guys don't need to worry about that. You already know how to get to the Meet link. Then your main thing is this classwork tab. This is where everything is. And you can see, you know that everything is kind of divided up into these topics. Your teachers will have some different things. I organize it by unit or something like that, but you do not necessarily have to worry about that from teacher to teacher. Here are some of the tricks that you can do to get there. And to make it seem less crazy, if you want, over here on the side, you can kind of hide some of these. Like if you don't want to worry about the general resources and you just want to focus on this, our unit, which is this one right here, you can click that topic here on the side. And then the only things that will show up will be those from that particular topic. But to show you a couple more hints and tricks, I'm going to go ahead and just do all topics. I want to point you to these icons that are here on the sides. These icons that look like clipboards, those are assignments, things that you actually have to do. They might be a quiz, it might be a worksheet, it is something for you to do. These little grayed out ones that kind of looks like, I don't know, one of those old-timey bookmarks in a book, that is called a material. And what a material is, it's kind of like a handout or a link or something where you don't actually have to do anything with it, but it's something that your teacher wanted you to have. In this case, it's the syllabus. We want you to have it, but you don't actually have to do anything with it. And it's the same all the way down. If there is one with a question mark on it, that means it is a question that you can go in and type your answer to. You don't have to make copies of anything. It is all there for you. Okay, so we're going back up to the top, and I want to show you a couple of these tools up here. The first is the View Your Work. That takes us right back to that Work tab. A lot of people really like this because they don't have to go back and forth between 100 different tabs and scroll up and down. All of your work is right there. It's like if you kept a folder just for things that you need to do. The next one is Meet, and that would take you to the Google Meet. Again, the one that was the link that you will always click to join the class. The Google Calendar button takes you back to that calendar, only this one would be in a separate tab. And actually, let me just show you. This has everything just in a different view and in a different application. The one that we clicked on before was just in Google Classroom. This is one where it has other things in there, like birthdays and reminders and tasks. So if you decide to use Google Calendar as like your agenda book, this could be an option for you. And then finally, Class Drive folder. That takes you back to that Google Drive where everything is all there organized by your name and the name of the assignment. Then up here, finally, the last tab is the People tab. And what that has for you is all the teachers that have access to this class, as well as all of your classmates. Over here on the side, it all has these email buttons. So if you are working on a particular project with somebody and you need to email them, but you don't know their email, you can always go to this People tab and just click that email. And it will open up in a brand new window for you so that you can type without losing anything that you are working on here. Now, I am ending the Google Classroom kind of tutorial, and I want to talk about your digital notebook since that is what we are going to be doing and using the most often. But since I've been talking a while, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and I'll just start a new one here in a second. So bear with me, hang on.